everybody, I'm Ashley and you're Kicking It with Ash. In today's episode, we're talking about the job hunt. It's really important for anybody from the freshman level all the way to the senior level to go ahead and start getting ready for that job hunt, right? It's really important and vital for you to have everything that you need so that way by the time you graduate, you're solid. You'll just be looking for jobs, but your resume will be on point. Your experience will be on point. So let's break down the top 4 things for you to do to be successful in the job hunt process, okay? Number 1, you've got to have your resume on point. And when I say that, that means you know the 12-point font, however it's supposed to look, you need to have that. Different companies want a different look on the resume, so be aware of that. But we need you to have a resume. So if you haven't started your resume, we need you to start. Ask your mom, your dad, you can even ask me, Ashley, can I borrow your resume? Because all I'm gonna tell you to do is take that format and change it with all your information, and there you go. You started your resume, right? But we then need to start building it. If you have nothing on your resume, that's perfectly fine. We'll start building on it. But what's key in this endeavor is your career services. This department is going to be key to help you move on from going from the college student to the graduate to the professional in the company, okay? They will help you build your resume. They will help you with the interview skills. They will help you with everything you need in order to be successful. So, if you don't have a career services at your school, I need you to rethink where you're going. Because remember, we're trying to get you a job. And you got to have that career services, okay? That's number 1. Get your resume together and have career services at your school to assist you. But then let's go into number 2. Number 2 is the biggest of them all. It's the meat of it. It's the experience. You've got to gain some experience somehow, some way. 20, 30 years ago, I'll give you an example. My dad, he worked for the Corps of Engineers. Came in with just high school diploma. No degree, no certification, nothing. They trained him and he just moved on up and worked with the company for almost 30 years. Same thing with my mom. She's been in the mortgage industry. No degree, trained, and this was 20, 30 years ago. Nowadays, companies don't want to do that. They want you with experience on the board. And so it's really important for you to do that. Now, how do you go about doing that? Easy. Co-ops, internships. Those summers that you decide, hey, I'm not going to summer school, you need to be working towards your profession. If it's an observation, if you can only observe, that is something. If you need to start hanging around your professors in your department, that is something as well, because this goes right into number 3, networking. Networking is going to be key for a lot of you guys. And the reason why I say that is because for me, I really don't network. I'm sorry. I just like to meet people, but I don't use that in benefit of getting me places. I really just truly like to meet people, but networking does work. And the reason why it works is because you never know, one, who's watching you, and you never know that person can help you move into your next journey. For example, for me, I was coming out of college. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. This wasn't networking on my end, but because of the secretary, Lou Merkel, she sought me out and said, hey, Ashley, what about this job position? I know you're about to graduate. She convinced me, I'm not gonna say convinced me, but we sat down to have a conversation about it, and she was my networking person that helped me get my first job. I was lucky. Sometimes you're lucky and you're able to have that person to help you. But then if you don't have that person to help you go into that position or into that interview, then it's going to be based off your resume and it's going to be based off your experience. So this is what I usually tell my students. If I'm HR and I'm looking at resumes, right? And you bring me your resume. If I don't see any job experience, I'm putting you in the no pile. If I don't see the requirements, degree, master's degree, I'm putting you in the no pile. But if I see that you have the credentials that I want, and I see that you have experience, okay, I'm about to call you now. Let's have this interview and see how you really are. You know what I mean? It's easy to get the interview if you have what they're looking for once you're done. But it's harder to get that interview if you don't have what they're looking for. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind. Number 4 is a big thing, and it's a really one that I really just need you to take to heart. Don't get frustrated with the process. When you're graduating from college, you're fresh out you're trying to get that entry level, you're trying to get another position of what? It's a frustrating process to interview day in, day out. And I know it by the by the soul of my bones. I know it. When I was at Georgia State, I was looking for a job for about 2 years, you guys. And one of my coworkers came up to me. She was like, Ashley, I can't believe you've been on so many interviews, even internally. Internally is probably the worst than externally, but regardless, she was like, how do you do it? And I said, you know what? Number one, I bring the Lord in there with me. Sorry, you guys, I'm religion. If you're not, I respect that, but I am. I bring the Lord in there with me. One, for him to give me calmness in that interview, and that way I just do my absolute best. But then I walk out the interview and I know if it's meant for me, it'll be for me. And if it's not meant for me, I'm okay with that. I get that rejection letter, I deal with it that day, and then I move on. Because I know in my heart, somebody is going to see my value and somebody is going to hire me. And that just tells me those companies were not for me. And that's perfectly fine. Because I would rather be with a company that has the same values and ethical morals that I have than to be somewhere that I feel is corrupt and they're not looking at the best interests of their employees or the people that they're servicing. But that's just me, okay? So don't get frustrated with the process. Don't get frustrated with it at all. Take your time, do other things to help you through that process. When you get that job, you're gonna be excited, you're gonna be happy, and you're not gonna even think about that process no more, okay? But while you're in the midst of it, don't get frustrated at all, because it can be a daunting thing. Sometimes it takes 3 weeks, sometimes it takes 3 months to a year, but it is a process and we all go through it, okay? So remember, number one, make sure your resume is on point. Number two, have some sort of experience on your resume that matches the skills that they're looking for, so that way you can get that interview. Number three, if you're able to, or if you're that person, network. I strongly encourage you to network, because you just never know who's looking at you or when you need somebody to assist you in something. And then number four, don't get frustrated with the process. I am Ashley, and you're Kicking with Ash. I hope you loved this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Other than that, I wish you the very best. Good luck on your job hunt, and you have a great day.